Welcome to the show. This is episode 99 of Our Modern Heritage, the Home and Family Culture podcast. And I am your host, Jodi Chaffee. This is a show about how to deliberately design your intentional family culture. Today, I am featuring Shaunn Spivey-Angeletti. Shaunn helps parents to cultivate their child's innate gifts and talents. She believes that when you teach children how to use those skills to navigate through day-to-day practices, the results lead them to becoming more successful, healthier, and happier individuals. Welcome, Shaunn. So excited to have
Yay,
you.
thank you. I'm excited to be here.
I'm so excited to talk about this. I mean, you say like we want to talk about education and parent-child relationships, motivation. These are things that I think are so crucial to, being intentional about our family culture, when we are, the way that we are interacting with our kids and motivating them. But you say you're the dream cultivator. What does that mean, first of all?
Okay. So the dream cultivator, what it means is this. Every one of us have an opportunity once we are born to have our own dreams, our own aspirations, our own desires, our own expectations of what life will provide for us. And a lot of that is based on our world knowledge. But there is a piece of us that is already a planted seed that already has all of our gifts and talents inside of it, that the parent's job or the world's job, our responsibility is to cultivate that, to water it, to nurture it, to keep it safe, to let it know when it's okay to be in the sun and when it's time to get in the shade. That's our job as the adults, those who are here to lead the ones that come behind us. So I help cultivate the dream, meaning that when children are in a safe space and they start sharing what their aspirations are, how big they see the world and what they want to do in it, I'm one of those people who come in and I go, oh, that's water she needs. And then I'll make sure that you have everything lined up. And if that soil is not nurtured enough, I'll make sure I get the vitamin B and the C and whatever it needs.
Yeah.
And all of us have those qualities in us to do. But sometimes we allow, or we've been conditioned, not even allow, because we don't always know that it's happening to us, to our world, to have us so busy that we don't realize that there's something extra we can do in our small windows of time, because most of us have careers or jobs or pursuing something to provide something more than what we had for our children, right?
Yeah.
And we don't realize that it's not the magical teacher at school that make Johnny or Jane amazing. It's the things that are already in them and people around them who understand how to tap into that and to allow it to grow and to flourish. So that's what I do.
Wow. I love that, because like you were talking about, it's already in there. You just want to cultivate it. And I talk about culture for our families, right? Like that's something I like this description, that it's something that it exists inside of us, but we want to tap into it or nurture those things that we want to grow, and maybe weed out the things that we don't, right?
Yes,
Things like that.
yes,
It's good.
yes,
So
yes.
when did you decide, like, what was it that made you want to do this? What made you realize like cultivating our dreams was something that you wanted to do?
Nice. Okay, so I have been an educator for a long time. I've been in the classroom almost 20 years, from private school, public school, Christian school. I've directed a school. So all those different roles, through that process, I literally was designing certain practices that I did as an instructor that helped children get to the next level. I always try to encourage them to expand themselves better than what the curriculum said we could do. I like to show children that they were limitless. And so in those practices, there started being techniques that I was doing at school, which I look at work was a stage. I got to perform my greatest show, and whatever work, I repeat the next day, right?
Nice.
Well, I would take that home. And at the time, my daughter was very young. And I was like, you know what can I do? I had been taking parenting classes and doing all these other things just to try to expand my knowledge, even as a child development major. And that's what my degrees are in. I really wanted, when I was learning through education, how to parallel what I was learning in education with parenting.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times we can't assume they're the same. They're not the same.
Yeah.
They have a lot of similarities, but they're not the same. They're not in one. And I had a heart's desire to do that for my child. And she started taking off. Stuff started getting amazing. In class, year after year, my classroom started excelling, like pushing higher and higher. And I'd have teachers and administrators and principals come to me asking me to design different programs and help do stuff, because they're like, your classrooms are testing 2 grade levels above. They didn't come to you
Wow.
like that. What's happening in there? And so I would start giving parents techniques and different practices to take home as homework. And it would be the activities I was doing. And fast forwarding, my child looked at me and said, Mom, now at 15, she became an entrepreneur. She told me she had a vision about something she wanted to do. I said, let's do it. And it took off. And like everything else, I've been blessed to put my hands on or have, it asked me to come parallel and walk with. And it took off. And she looked at me as a young entrepreneur who was teaching entrepreneurial classes by this time, had toured over 9 countries around the world. And she said, Mom, you've been doing this in classrooms for other people all this time. And every time I do a speaking event, when they ask me where did this come from, it comes from you. It's something you've brought out of me. This is what you've always done. You've always told me that I was the flower. And your job was to make sure that you water me properly. So herein lies where cultivation came from.
Yeah.
Because my job with her, I always tell people my mother is a person who loves a garden. My thumbs are brown. I think God intended that because I don't know how to do plants. But it's something about children that brown thumb was designed to be able to cultivate something amazing out of, and to help them, to nurture them in a way that allowed them to soar at new heights. And so the cultivation piece, that name came from her, because everything has always been about the dream. It's always been about the biggest dream she's ever had. And then she landed an event with Walt Disney World Dreamers Academy. I mean, everything around me has been considered the dream. So just kind of put it together like, okay, this is what I've been doing, God. And she told me, you don't do the next thing on your own, I'm not doing another speaking event without you. And so it was birthed.
Wow. So then do you speak at those events too with her now?
I do. Yeah.
Okay,
I do training. Yeah. She's like, you've been coaching me. Duh. Get on the stage with me.
Nice. So now we're dying. Okay. What are your techniques? What are the things that you have? Maybe start with one technique at a time here. What is one technique that you have, that you teach the parents first to cultivate
Love
their
it.
children?
So one of the things is this: we know most of our children, especially if you have your children, are anything under 20 and under. That's almost every child, right?
Yeah.
All of them understand the term that we all use. It was a colloquialism about it. Do you have game? Oh, he has game. She got game. Remember when the movies came out? We all know we can use the word game and turn it into something. So I always ask parents, what's your child's game? And I ask them, do you know your child's game? And they're like, what? Most of the time we think that it's in terms of maybe trying to get away with the sneaky stuff they do to get the candy or something. That's not the level of game I'm talking about. My game stands for GAME, is goals, activate mental excellence.
Wow.
So when you teach parents to remind themselves that their children do have goals, and if they don't, that we should start presenting opportunities for them to create goals, not design them for them. But we present opportunities for them to create goals.
Yeah.
We have them articulate them, whatever you speak into existence, and you write it down and you start seeing it. Those are the things that start transpiring into coming to fruition, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So our goals, activating mental excellence. When I say a goal, I write down a goal. I put it where I can see the goal. I'm activating something in my mind. Then mom and dad start doing behaviors that allow it to be cultivated. For example, so I'm giving them a game. This is your game, mom and dad, whoever's watching, auntie, uncle, cousin, anybody who has been blessed with an opportunity to nurture someone younger than them. All right?
Yep.
So goals activate mental excellence. They say a goal that they want to do. I want my grades to get better, or I want to start this lip gloss company. Whatever it is. All right, great. That's an amazing goal. You write it down. Say it out loud. How about this? Let's go in the mirror. Let's say it to ourselves 5 times. Give a high five. You just claim that for yourself, right?
Yeah.
You gave them something inside they were excited about, even if they did it a little shy, because not everybody likes a mirror, which is a whole nother lesson I won't go into today. But so you have them do that. Now they feel a little bit encouraged and inspired about this. They have a goal. They've written it down. Now there's somewhere that they can see it. So I've activated my mental excellence is this. Now I take an opportunity and I say, what do you want to do with that thing? Let's say the lip gloss. All right. Why is lip gloss important to you? We can do this conversation in the car, mom and dad. You pick up
Mm-hmm.
from school. So
Yeah.
you told me about lip gloss yesterday. Tell me what you like about lip gloss. What flavor do you like? What this and this and that? How does it feel? How does it make you feel? Why is it valuable? Have you looked up what they put in it? Okay, that's your project. That could be a Friday activity. Now you've done it 2 different things now about that lip gloss.
Yeah.
All right. So now you have the goal. You've written it down. You've
Yep.
said it. You've been activating the ideas about it. So your mental excellence is lining up in position to start doing this goal. Then you start doing whatever it is, whether you have to do it once a month or what have you, you put in a little bit of time towards that goal. Of course, you want to have the end in mind and you make it tangible for your child. You don't give them something real unrealistic. I tell parents all the time, don't promise something you can't do. Just because I can say I can do it by Friday, your schedule may not permit me by Friday. It might be by February or by, by the summer break or what have you. And you guys map that out together. It can be done loosely on your casual time. But you'll look up and your children will start articulating the same thing. Hey, Mom, remember I told you about the strawberry lip gloss? Oh, my goodness, my friend brought me one, and it was nasty. You guys can laugh about it. You can change the flavor that you're talking about. You've put them in position to start cultivating that idea, that framework of saying, I can do any and everything. That goal-activated mental excellence can be applied towards anything. Picking up your toys by yourself, doing the application for the middle school, whatever it is, putting in the applications to get in the college class that you wanted. That goal-activating mental excellence can be applied in every area of our lives.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. And so do you sit down and say, maybe pick out a goal from each aspect of our life? Like what's your goal academically, or what's your goal personally? What's your goal physically? Those kinds of
Yes,
things.
most definitely. And if families are have had structures like where they have family meetings, some people they don't. It's one of the best things I've ever done. The first 20 something years of parenting, I didn't do it. I have a 22-year-old and the youngest one just turned 10 last week. So we got a range between the 5 of them that we're blessed to have. And the first couple, half of that, we didn't do family meetings. The value of family meetings is so amazing. It allows them to be able to put in that vote, to be able to say, hey, Mom, in that personal area, I want to do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And you get to hear them with their own voice, say how they feel about things. And it also makes them own their things that they've said that they want to do. So definitely you can pick each area. Depending on what your framework is for your home, I would say take it slow.
Yeah.
You might need it once a month. Just do one main idea, especially if you have more than one child.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be where those things start. One gets more attention than the other, or it becomes where, not meaning the child, but the idea. And we have to remember on every level, developmentally, they all see it differently. So your middle schooler will see it different than your kindergarten. Your kindergarten is it's going to be my conversation again, and again, right?
Right.
Or your middle schooler is barely wanting to talk to you good. So they're like, okay, Mom, you had 30 seconds and I'm out,
Right.
So you want to make sure that you frame it around the structure and the natural nature of your children and how they speak their own love language.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to say, like, there has to be like a balance, because I was going to ask you, when there are parents, because, there's this whole helicopter bulldozer parenting thing that's trending, that we're going, stop doing that, parents. Like, what about, parents who want to inspire their children, motivate their children? Where do they draw the line between I'm going to inspire them, motivate them, and parents who just kind of like step in and end up doing it for them? Or do they step it, when is it time to like step back? You know what I mean? Like this kind
Nice.
of, what is it that parents, the framework for our parents are thinking,
Yes.
the way that we should be thinking about these goals, so that our children take that ownership? I mean, you talked about the meetings, so that they claim it and they take accountability for it, but how do parents like gauge for their children when it's time to push and when it's time to step back?
Beautiful. So what I would say is this. When your children set the goals, and I'm saying it like that intentionally, because you want to lead them to desiring the goals so that they're going to desire the achievement that comes from the goal, the work that has to be put into the goal. If you set the goal for them, it's meaningless.
Yeah.
And so now you are doing it for them. You're thinking for them, you're following through for them. So at the mark that you start, when you encourage them, say, for example, the goal is falling short, I would encourage parents to make sure that they're pointing out the positives. You have to celebrate the little wins. You cannot look at it like, oh, you didn't get to stage 5. You started at 1. If you were at 1 and you're at 1.3 today, you did 0.3 better than yesterday. I
Yeah.
am celebrating that. And then we're going to have a discussion about what happened differently. How did it make you feel? What did you commit to for yourself? See, they need to understand that the value of the win is something that they own.
Yeah.
But if you own it, I'm only trying to appease you, mom or dad.
Right.
But if I own it and I own the reward of it, as well as I know what it feels like for the hard work, they know what how heavy the labor feels. So why not I own the win as well? And it come without judgment, you know?
Yes.
And what'll happen is it allows the parent to stop feeling guilty about their children. See, a lot of parents don't want to tell that truth. They start feeling guilty when their baby is not winning. So they
Right.
step in and they finish it for them. All you did, you set them up for an additional fail.
Right.
Because failing is good for us, you guys.
Yeah.
We don't realize that. Failing sometimes is where you got those little scratches on your knees. You got good stories about that. Oh man, I ran into a car on my beach cruiser and I skidded the side of my knee, but the next time I was able to jump over both,
Yeah.
you have to win those yourself. So I
Yeah.
would tell parents at the mark that your heart is making you jump and you feel like, oh, that's where you have to pull yourself back. You literally have to find a way to get 2 steps ahead of that feeling and withdraw and allow the child to tell you what they would do differently. Ask them their opinion.
Wow. Yeah.
This is a hard thing. How do you feel? You don't like not winning. I feel you. And I'm going crazy. Be honest. I'm going crazy because I'm shackling my hands right now as mommy because my heart's desire is to jump in and help you win. But I can't because if I help you win, then you won't know what the win feels like for yourself. You have to remind yourself that, mom and dad, and say it out loud to your child so that they see your heart's desire for them to win on their own. And then you encourage them. Our job is to cheer you on, not to drag you in.
Yeah. And not to shame you when it looks
And not
like
to
you failed.
shame you.
Because I mean, you said it, non-judgment. That's something that I emphasize a lot in these conversations. I just feel like parents stop judging our kids. Like, we don't know, like, if it looks like a failure, it might not be. It's just a stepping
Most
stone. It's
definitely.
just a learning opportunity, not a time to like shame our kids and make them feel bad, or to tell them, well, maybe this is not your game. Let's just back
Exactly.
off and quit. Well, maybe it's just time to, or maybe it's time to push harder for the child, right? We want to say, are you ready to push harder, or do you want to take a step back? Or,
Yes.
these kinds of conversations, not, well, that was dumb or something, like,
And
like
we forget that those
non-judgment.
type of words are so powerful.
Yeah.
We can tear a child's whole understanding of themselves down. And a lot of times parents forget, even though you might say something loosely at home and you feel like this is the safety of my home, my child knows I love them, you're forgetting that they deal with the world 8 and 9 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
So if the world is soliciting to me that I'm not worthy of whatever the greatness was that I thought I had, or that some teacher might have said I had, and now all my neighbor friends are saying, oh, you're this, you're that, and it parallels to what you've already said at home, it magnifies it for me 100
Wow.
times.
Yeah.
So we cannot afford to lose them.
Yeah.
They need to know we're their advocate no matter what the world is saying. And the only way to do that is to create a non-judgment free zone where there is no name calling. We don't realize that when we're correcting our children, our position for correction should be on the activity or the thing that they've done, not on them as a human being. So if I want to correct your behavior, say, for example, it's in your communication. Let's say, I call it feeling yourself. You feeling yourself, you're a little snappy. So I give nicknames for those type of things. You know what? I tell my teenager, you know what? I call it epidemic because I say it's a nasty virus and it's contagious. Every preteen and teenager has caught it, like the nasty flu. And your job is to make yourself learn different techniques like medication, like some good vitamins, to learn how to control that as you're growing through that zone. It's natural. But you have to control it. You have to cultivate it into what you want it to be, because childhood is practice for adulthood. You don't get there without going through the transition. So when my 15-year-old is, a little snappy, I go, you know what? Your epidemic sound like she needs some new rules from me. Okay. Because, that usually has some form of consequence aligned with the level of behavior that I'm getting. I don't attack her as a person.
Right.
And when we see those as two different things, it allows us to parent in a way that is not so harsh. And even
Yeah.
if it came with powerful statements, oh my goodness, I'm so frustrated. I can't believe we're going through this again. Make it towards the behavior, not towards the
Yeah.
child. Honey, I need you to practice this because this particular mastering this is going to take you to another level. That's why I feel like this. Be okay with saying that. It's not just because I said so. Well, if I don't hold any value in what you said, you just gave me an opportunity to want to challenge what you said. And if not, I'm that by nature child. You just created a little piece of havoc between the both of us that could have been
Right.
nurtured differently. That's all.
Right.
It
Then it
doesn't
just becomes a
change.
power struggle
It's a
and
power
yeah.
car. And you don't need that. Honestly, who needs to compete? Jodi, do you know how it feels to pay the bills? There's no competition between you and the child when it comes to paying a bill, right?
Right.
They
Right.
don't know what it looks like, the IRS, to go fill out the tax forms. They have no idea. So why am I competing for something that is not even, it's not up for grabs?
Right. Right.
So
So I like this description of like separate the behavior from the child. Like even if there's like a label or something that if our child has had some kind of diagnosis or anything like that, like it's just a label. It's to help us to identify the feelings that we're having, but
absolutely.
not the a characteristic of the person that we're talking to. It's just to
Absolutely.
identify those feelings. It's we want our kids to have the emotional intelligence, social intelligence, these kinds of things to identify how they're feeling and the changes that they're going through and the struggles that they're experiencing without assigning that meaning to them as a person, right? Like
Exactly.
helping them to grow. So that would really be about that cultivating the
Yes.
person. So
Most
uh,
definitely.
I want to go into that a little bit more too, like this idea. What are some of the like techniques for cultivating? So we talked about game and goals. What's another way that we can help them to cultivate like this motivation and
Yes.
maturity, things like that?
A big one that a lot of people mislook because we hear it used all the time is learning your child's love language. We hear it for our spouses and for adults that we care about, but we forget that all we are aged children, technically. We are well seasoned children, right?
Uh-huh.
We've
Mm-hmm.
just been here longer, that's all. So
Yeah.
they still have that they have their spirit houses its own likes and dislikes, its own things that makes them feel valuable or not. When they're young, we assume everybody loves hugs and kisses. But I have a handful of babies I can remember, nieces and nephews, and they could care less about a kiss. Get off me. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness, right?
Yeah.
They've already expressing how they feel. So a lot of times if we do activities, there's fun ways to learn each other's love language. And then if I give you tools to play with in your love language, now I've set you up for winning differently. Uh-oh, can you see me okay?
Yeah, you're back. Your picture
Okay,
came
I'm
up
so
for a
sorry.
second, but you're good.
So yes, so if I put you in position for winning in your love language, then what happens is you'll start practicing in that way. For example, if my love language is receiving gifts, well, as adults, we assume receiving gifts means purchasing. That is
Mm-hmm.
not always true. Gifts can be, I came in and I wrote a thank you for my lunch today, mommy. Or the note that you wrote to your 5-year-old saying that, I love how you put away your toys last night. That was so responsible. I'm so proud of you. That's a gift. If
Mm-hmm.
I leave an outfit out on the bed and I put matching socks with it that were already out of your closet, it's a gift. It really is. It makes them feel like you took out time to spend with me. You did something for me. The
Mm-hmm.
child who enjoys quality time, they want to be right up under you. The way to get them to stop being up under you all the time is you give them the quality time and you let them know this is to satisfy that. I am excited. We have a date. We're going to watch Frozen twice. And then mommy has to get some work done. So
Yeah.
from this time to that time, mommy needs her time at the computer because I'm obligated to do that. I promised them. And they're going to be happily giving you that time because you've already fed their language.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
learn what your child's love language is and feed it and put it on schedule to feed
Mm.
often.
Wow. That would also translate into that cultivating their goals and things because whenever they do accomplish something, you want to reward them with their love language or encourage
There you
them,
go.
right, with their love language and give them.
Absolutely.
I love that. I love that. But in general, knowing their love language, gosh, I'm fumbling over my words today, but knowing their love language, it's just, you're cultivating trust in your relationship, that then they have the confidence to be themselves, know that you're in their corner and that you love them, and that
Absolutely.
whatever you want to help them to cultivate, they know, you know what, I know mom and dad are on my side because they love me, and I know that they love me, and they're not trying to enforce their love language on me, because that's not necessarily communicating love for them, but
Most
you're
definitely.
cultivating trust because they feel like they you are communicating in the way that they understand. So that's
Exactly.
awesome. That's
And it
so awesome.
allows them to learn to value other people's love languages, so that they learn not
Mhm.
only how to receive and give, but how to honor and respect each other's love languages, because they need to know their siblings may not want the same thing. That usually kind of fizzles down that competitive thing between siblings, because if you wanted quality time and I didn't want that, I'm mad dad is asking me for a date, right?
Right.
I'm like, Dad, I just needed you to give me words of affirmation, tell me I was doing a good job and leave me alone. I really wanted to be back, reading my book by myself. So once you start doing that as a family, you start seeing the different things and natural practices that each one of you all have. And it just makes everything so much smoother. And it definitely cultivates a whole different level of healthy love language, friendships, associations, how they groom themselves towards people that they're engaging with when it comes down to playing on the playground, or
Yeah.
doing a group project in a university class. It will
Yeah.
change all of that.
Well, and also as they grow up into the world, and I mean, you say your daughter is an entrepreneur, and that's something that I want to encourage parents through my podcast, through my message, that I think that it's important to help our children shape these kinds of entrepreneurial skills, even if they don't ever start their own business. I think that entrepreneurism is like a mindset, and it involves this like sensitivity to other people's needs, right? Like
Yes.
that's something that that if you want to create something that solves a problem, well, you got to kind of be aware of what those problems are. So have you seen that, all of this, how has this translated
Oh,
into
definitely.
helping your daughter be an entrepreneur or helping raise entrepreneurs?
So I would say one of the biggest things is it builds empathy.
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing to sympathize with someone's conditions, but empathy is a whole nother thing, because if I know how you feel in some circumstances, it will help me navigate towards making sure that I don't either repeat that, or I know how to avoid some of those steps. I know how to help other people, whether it's coaching my friends through something like, hey, you know what, we can do this differently. We can honor each other in a different way. It changes all of that. And then the self-pride that comes with ownership.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you do something with your business or not, out of the 5 children, I have 3 entrepreneurs.
Wow.
So it's work that
Yeah.
ends up being done. But each one of them, the level of self-pride that they have, that they can accomplish anything that they put their mind to, is so amazing. And that's something that when you build those things within your children, you'll start noticing them cultivating themselves. Oh, mom, I did this. No, I'm going to do this now. And I'm taking it to the next level. Well, I reached out to this person. You'll look up and your child is creating collaborations. And you're like, oh,
Wow.
okay. I didn't know. Well, yeah, well, such and such makes this. So she's going to make that for me. And I'm going to put it with my product and we're going to double. And it will blow your mind, really, if you see them, if you allow them that free space to spread their wings, and they
Yeah.
understand the value of it, how it feels to them and how it feels to give it. I would say to every parent, entrepreneurship puts you in position not only to allow your child to be served, but to serve others at another level. Because not every sale is a win, but you
Mm-hmm.
still had to have the best presentation, the smile, the open spirit. You had to present yourself in a way that made people want to like, know, and trust you, which are the key rules when it comes to entrepreneurship. If I don't
Mm-hmm.
like, know, and trust you, I'm not interested in what you have.
Yeah.
But if I
Yeah.
like, know, and trust you, I'll buy almost anything you have because I'm excited that you are selling something else, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what we want to be able to have, not only in this whole thing. I'm walking around selling myself every single day. If I'm
Mm-hmm.
in line in the grocery store and I am curt to you, I solicited to you not to purchase me, my attitude, my presence,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Yep.
so entrepreneurship, this is a lifestyle. It's
Yeah.
a whole thing. So that's what I'm excited about, what my children are gaining. It's not about, of course, we want the dollar bill to do what it's supposed to do
Yeah.
at the end, but
Yeah.
it's not that, because that skill is going to go and be able to cross over into everything that they do.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's like sportsmanship compounded, lifestyle sportsmanship,
Yes.
you want to be able to have that for your children, and you have to cultivate that in them.
Exactly. Yeah. So as you were talking, I was just like, I loved how you were talking about, oh, they developed this collaboration. You're going, what? And it's like, cool. Kids don't have the same inhibitions as adults do. These fears and stories that we tell ourselves about being unworthy or being to this or that and being afraid to do this stuff. And so that's why it comes back to this whole idea of cultivating, because kids already have that inside of them. We want to like help nurture that inherent desire to serve and love people and to create things and to connect with people, that as we get older, those things are kind of like beaten out of us. It's like
Exactly.
we lose that innocence in a way,
Yes.
that it's like, but with our kids, they already feel that. They just want to grow, they want to learn, they want to serve, and they want to be with people. And then as you cultivate that in them, like you said, it's a lifestyle. And imagine if more and more people, if you bump into people at the grocery store, are having this lifestyle mindset going, I'm selling myself even to strangers, that how much better the world would be.
Man, we can be doing a lot more. We can be doing a
Yeah.
lot more. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. You're
Yeah.
right.
I mean,
But
humanity. I mean,
one at
every
a
once in a
time,
while you
it would
get these
change.
videos that people post like, oh, my belief in humanity is restored, because they post this one nice video, somebody doing like a humane thing, right? It's like, why is this something that is out of the ordinary? That's what's so
Right.
sad.
Yeah, it is really sad. But if we don't, and my thing is this, a lot of people, there's so many different cliches like, oh, well, almost loosely like it doesn't matter. It has to matter.
Yeah.
If we don't make it matter, it will die off.
Yeah.
The natural world of being, our human instinct to love one another and to be kind and to aspire to do the best we can will slowly be diminished. But there will be a group that is still doing it. They will be flourishing and the rest will not.
Yeah.
And that's what we need to make sure that our children don't fall prey to. You can't assume this is monotony. No, this is your life. What is the legacy that you intend to leave here on this earth?
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly. That's like my whole message. Right? Hey, everybody, our modern heritage is about legacy.
Yes. What
Because
is it? What is it?
what are we doing? How are we bringing it, like, how are we showing up in the world? And then how are we raising our children to show up in the world to build this legacy of like how we're interacting with other people and how we're creating and following our dreams and visions? Like, stop pushing our kids down and stop, anyway. I could get on a
I
soapbox about
agree.
it,
I
but
agree.
but
Yes, I,
yeah.
I have lessons about that. When you said stopping pushing yourself, like, oh, I got a good one. Yes, it's so many ways
Yeah.
that we do that. I had a team presentation for teenagers, and it's called "Stop the STDs," and these are for 18, 19-year-olds, and people are like, "What?" Stop talking down. Stop talking down your dreams. Stop talking down your beliefs. Stop talking down your excellent practices. It's so many other things. But when I tell you 18-year-olds walk in the room like, what's she talking about? Sit down, honey. Sit down. Because we know what they're interested in talking about.
Right. We want to
So
stop
it's
that
just
too.
some of those shockers. Exactly. Some of those shocking kind of conversations make them go, wait, what? Yeah, come on. I see you. You intrigued. You don't want the problem, but you sure everything to get there. Come on, sit down. Let's talk. But yes, we have to find a way to tap in differently. And we have to embrace that there are an immense ways to cultivate our children. And we don't have to do something outlandish or feel like it has going to offset our life. You already have the tools you need to cultivate the greatness out of your child. If not, they wouldn't be the gift sent to you.
Wow.
They're your gift, however they got to you. You have been chosen by the universe, by God, whatever your belief system is. You're the one chosen. That means you already have the tools to cultivate all of their dreams coming true, for setting them up to be able to navigate into a phenomenal future of their own and to do exceptional things and change the world. Now, what are you going to do about it? I'm sorry, I got real with your people quick.
No, I love it. I was going to say, if you guys did not get chills just now, then you don't know what is happening in the world. Like, let's go, guys. Let's get going. Okay. LaShaunn, that was so awesome. I love talking to you. And I want to hear all about your whole programs and all your situations that you teach, everything you teach. So tell us where we can find you.
Okay, so you can find me on Facebook at Dream Cultivator Miss Spivey. I'm on Facebook, on Instagram is Dream Cultivator Miss Spivey as well. And you can find me at dreamcultivator.com. And I'll tell you guys, can I give your audience a secret I have coming?
Yeah.
I have a massive treat for all of the mommies. Now listen, I have declared everybody need to be cultivating 365, 24/7. And I know that is work. It is a lifestyle, I just told you. But guess what? Have you also known that you need to cultivate a break in you, mommy? You need to be somewhere safe where you can be nurtured, where you can take your cape off and be free and say, I'm going crazy.
Yeah.
And know that, and not feel guilty about it, not feel boggled down, not feel shame as though I should have been there on time and I wasn't and I missed the performance. No. Somewhere where you can be poured back into. So Dream Cultivator, Miss Spivey is having a woman's retreat this summer.
What?
It's a whole weekend retreat of pampering, pouring back into you. We're doing art, we're doing music. It is about to be bananas fun. It's about to be so bougie and laid back, fluffy robe style with ridiculous poolside manner. You guys are going to be mad if you miss it. So that is coming. I'm so excited because parties are my thing. I do parties at another level. So this event is going to be amazing. Those who, I understand all of us got different love languages. Trust me. For the quiet ones who like a book, I'm going to have time for you. For those who are like me, the extrovert, I got time for you too. But I am going to make sure that you have somewhere safe to get restored. You're going to be able to reboot you. You're going to be able to retreat from the world and truly take your apron and your cape off and go back ready to cultivate like you've never done before. And that includes cultivating you to a new level. So that'll be dropping soon. Your audience got to know it even before mine.
What?
Yes. So I'm excited about that. You can find me there. Your audience can also, this is one of my my most recent bestsellers. I'm excited about her. This here, it is the house her dragon built. From front to back, you guys, this is all me. From the artwork to every single word on the inside. If you want tools on how to cultivate the greatness in your child, there are 5 easy steps that I break down and I give you real life measure. I open up like a diary and I share with you one of my babies and how she bloomed and how she is prospering right now, blowing the world's mind. From stages with millions and millions of watchers all the way down to the little stages where she don't even want nobody to know her name so they don't Google her. But you can find all the magic in here. You can go to dreamcultivator.com to get this. And I left for your audience. I went in today and I opened back up my holiday special. So if they get the bundle, there's a book and a present for you and your family that's coming. What? I had dropped that and it was closed for 2019. I opened it up, Jodi, just for you.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that'll be open.
So
I'll leave that open for, let's say, this is Valentine's Day. I'm greedy. How about this? My birthday is next Friday. So I kind of show out between Valentine's Day all the way to next week. So I'm going to give you guys till my birthday. They can get that special until February 21st, 2020. All right?
Perfect. Awesome. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited. Cool. Let's check in on the live to see if there's comments. Mommy time, retreat and reboot. Yes. So exciting. You guys, so awesome. Thank you so much for showing up and thank you for being here. And seriously, thank you so much, LaShaunn. It was so awesome. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. It was an honor. Have a wonderful day. Stay amazing, y'all.
Awesome. Okay.